have a question. My question is for the students who asked in Maryland. What kind of support do you get from your government there? Like, this has been happening for a long time, and you know, the government's going through revolving doors every couple of years. What do they do to back the people up, and what has been happening there for so long?
Maybe we'll do one question at a time, and then so instead of two.
Yes, Chief Council.
Okay.
The band council, well, actually, Chief Simon Fobister endorsed us to be here, and he was here for the press conference, and he went with me to Japan. So he is very supportive, and like he is also has a lot of history, and so in that way, like he's been very supportive. The local government, but the provincial government walked away from talks with us. They never settled with us, but the paper mill did, and we got $8 million. And when Dr. Hanada was saying that their people got 800,000 a person, that's ridiculous to compare to what we got. We got $1,200 each payout, and we got Mercury disability. I get $250 a month on Mercury disability. My dad gets $500, and like it says on the paper there. Dr. Hanada's report, there's only 14 people out of the 42 people that he tested that are on the Mercury disability payments. All our people apply, and they don't get the Mercury disability payment. It just stays at the trust company and the board. It doesn't go anywhere, it just gets stuck there. There's millions of dollars. And my dad estimates there's 12 million in there. So it just gets stuck there. And meanwhile, there's little kids being born, and it's not getting funneled to our people. It just stays in like a bureaucratic level.
A question for Dr. Hanada. Mercury, I understand, is of course, the neurotoxin, and the sorry. Yes. And it's, what I understand is it doesn't leave the body. It stays in the body, and that's why the problem is so severe now, because it's been accumulating all these years, and because it does not leave the body. Is that true? Can you tell us a little bit more about mercury?
問題になっているのは有機水銀、イノーガニックのこれは体に入ると70日で外に出ています。
The question here we talk about is called inorganic mercury. It eventually, within 70 days, it is supposed to be flushed out from the body.
ただし、脳の中にはもっと長い間、無機水銀の形で残ります。
However, within the brain, some substance will remain in the central system of the brain. That cannot be erased once it's entered.
しかし私が言いたかったのは、一旦傷つけられた神経は修復しない。
What I want to say is, once the nerve system is damaged, it's irreparable. It's a permanent damage.
骨が折れたらまた後でくっつきます。
If you break your bone, you can fix your bone.
しかし脳の神経は一旦傷つくと治らない。
Nervous system in the brain, once damaged.
そのことが今でも障害を引き起こします。
That's why people are having a number of chronic symptoms even now.
したがって水銀を流した企業、それを認めた政府はそのことをはっきりと認めて罪を謝罪する必要があります。
So the company who has released this poison, government should acknowledge the fact and properly compensate people.
謝罪する。
They should apologize to people. First, they should apologize.
just speaking, oh, sorry, I'm standing right, and my name is Dear. Just wanted to ask how you felt about the fact that mercury poisoning women and how it affects your reproductive organs and reproductive capability and lineage, and how that amounts to genocide.
Who are you asking? Anyway. Like how the poisons actually affect your ability to carry on your lineage? So it's a form of genocide for nation women.
And second, Mr. Mandela, I feel like that's a direct attack on the child bearers for our nations. I know that if I was pregnant and then I eat a fish, it goes straight to the baby, and it goes right to the baby's brain, and so it's very dangerous. It attacks the nervous system of the little baby. And in terms of genocide, I think there are many different angles of how the genocide is happening to our people, and part of that is the environmental pollution, and it targets the Anishinaabe communities all along the water systems. All over, like you see all these fights like the Yankee Dene and the, like all over these lands. Like you just connect to other Anishinaabe and they're all fighting to protect the land. And I know that is a silent war on our people, and it's on purpose, and we are meant to be gone, we are meant to be exterminated, but we will just keep fighting.
Yeah, I want to say something a little about that, because now we're getting into the colonialism stuff, and I do know about that. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I was reading after the apology and the decision to make a big fund for residential school children, and the Canadian public writing on YouTube, I wouldn't give those parasites anything. And I want to say this, for every $1 the federal government gives a Canadian, we get 2 bits. So that's the first thing about colonialism that you got to know. That money comes from the north, and it gets passed through southerners. And in that case, I'm actually included in the southern representation. I'm the one who gets $1, and my sister here gets 2 bits. We need to remember that. Billions and billions of dollars comes out of the Mid-Canada and Northern Development Corridor. It passes through the provincial government, where it's spread around Toronto, London, the Golden Horseshoe, all of these lovely places, and then the leftovers goes north. So that's the first thing you gotta know. The second thing is that we're on the way of development. Now, development means to grow, right? That's what it means. So, how do you grow mercury? You can't. It's extraction. They're extracting diamonds, they're extracting oil, they're extracting mercury, they're extracting trees, they're extracting pulp, they're extracting water, it goes on and on and on. And then we down here get a little bit of privilege. Like hydro, I don't know. Whatever it is we get. Roads for our people. And that's the nature of colonization. So, the genocide is already fait accompli, people. We don't have our countries. Bottom line, we're not the deciders. We don't get to say, no, you can't dump mercury in the English Wabagoon River system. That's the nature of colonization. We're not the deciders. You all vote and pick my Indian Affairs Minister. Then you pick my Prime Minister and my Finance Minister. And they all decide that we get body bags instead of medicine. Mercury instead of life. Yeah? That's the problem.
I was just wondering if
あると思いますが、誰も調べていないです。カナダ人のお医者さんがもし調べていれば見つかっていると思います。
I believe there are a number of similar cases happening in Canada. Just nobody looked into it.
水銀の量を分析、カナダの政府や研究者は水銀の量を分析します。しかし、健康調査をしたことはないです。日本人の医者がグラスにあるホワイトドルにて見つけただけじゃないでしょうか。
Canadian government did some analysis on the level of mercury in regions in Canada, but they never did that. They have never done health study. We're from Japan and we've done the health study. That's that.
だからもし他のコミュニティ、あるいはイングリッシュワーディングリバーシステムの他のコミュニティを調べればあるんじゃないか、水俣病、水銀中毒があるんじゃないかと思っています。
So I'm sure if you look into other regions, you might likely to find similar symptoms.
My question is for Dr. Minata. I was very much surprised when you spoke about Minamata disease having occurred only in the three places, two in Japan and the one across the Narrows. Not that I've heard of it anywhere else, but since it comes from mercury, there's a lot of mercury used in mining, in chemical factories, and so on. Surely there have been other cases where people have gotten this kind of disease that we may never have heard about or known about. And so that's my question.
じゃあ2つのことを言います。
I'd like to point out two items.
私が水俣病というのは工場から流れた水銀が環境を汚染してそして人間の体に入るという一つのチェーンを指しています。
What I call here Minamata disease is this condition was originated from industrial pollution, mediated by food chain, and entering into people's systems. That's what I call it Minamata disease.
イラクで、消毒に使った水銀のかかった小麦を食べて、2万人の人が水銀中毒になりました。
I heard that in Iraq they use some flour that to purify the flour they use mercury, and 20,000 people got sick from it in Iraq.
2つ目。
Secondly,
水俣病と同じ環境を犯して水俣病が起きたのは私たちの調査の限りでいくつも起きています。世界中。
and we found a number of cases all over the world that this condition was occurred because of use of mercury poisoning.
中国で起きています。
One in China.
でも中国政府が隠してしまって表に出ることはありません。
The Chinese government hid the facts of never being announced officially.
ブラジルで起きています。
So it's Brazil.
ブラジルの金の鉱山からで水銀を使いますが、下流で水俣病と同じケースが出ています。
In the gold mining, they use mercury also, and they found some mercury poisoning there too.
原田医師のグループが一度調査に行きましたけど、2度目は入れませんでした。
Harada, a team of Dr. Harada went to look into the situation. One time they were allowed, but second time they were refused to enter the site.
タンザニアで起きています。金の鉱山。
Another case in Tanzania, same as gold mine.
タンザニアの金の鉱山を持っている人たちは実は貧しい労働者たちです。
People who work in that mine in Tanzania were poor miners.
そこで水銀中毒が出ていると いうふうにはとても言えません。
So we couldn't tell them that you are suffering from mercury poisoning because they have to struggle to survive, to make a living.
外から来る私たちに銃を持ったガードマンが立って
When we went there, there were guardmen, guns in hands, secured in the sites.
インドネシアでも同じようなことが
Same with Indonesia.
その地元の人たちの戦いや、運動があれば明らかになるかもしれません。
If people stand up and start fighting for their life, number of cases will be revealed more and more in the future.
私たちができたのは、そしてできるのは警告を発することだけでした。
What I could do, what we can do, is to start keep giving out warnings to the world.
カナダのケースは、オンタリオのケースは、グラシーナールの人たちの協力があったから、きちっと論文に書くことができました。
In case of Canada, because people in Grassy Narrows are very cooperative with us, so that's why I be able to come up with this official report. Thank you.
I just want to say, because it was brought up about voting and who put our like Prime Minister into power. The young people, I'm near retirement, very near retirement. The young people are the lowest percentage of people to get out and vote. I probably everybody in this room votes, but get out and get your friends out to vote. We have to make the changes in this world. We have to make the changes in this province. We have to work for our brothers. I use the word brothers and sisters. I'm a union person, but our friends in Grassy Narrows. And you all Twitter. I don't do the Twitter. I don't do the Facebook. But do that. Pass this message on. If not, do it the traditional way. Talk to the person that when you're standing waiting for the bus, talk to them, tell them about what you heard here tonight. It's not down there. Do that. Pass this word on because that's the only way it's going to happen. And get out and vote. Thank you. Make way.
So I'm going to take 2 more questions before we wrap it up. One, and then, were there any over here that 1, 2, 3? This one might get there. Would you be able to
I just want to say something. I've joined this organization, and I can tell you that I've always wanted to help the community and stuff like that. And I'm getting into law school for that reason, to help these poor Native individuals and Aboriginals and Indigenous and so on. And I always wanted to say that we live in a democracy, right? And I see it and I don't see it at the same time, right? I mean, just like you say, we as young people have to stand up for these people and for others and for our future, because our rights are limited. If we don't face them today, we won't face them like that. Amen.
I'll be my name is Edward, but I actually come from Tanzania, and I've worked as an activist for the last 12 years among the mining communities in Tanzania, in North Mara, where Barrick Gold Corporation is operating, in Bulyanhulu, in Buzwagi, and other areas. These impacts, we see them. But I just needed to say that for the sake of progress, in our activism, we don't need to keep the truth from the people because they're poor. They are poor, but they need the truth. And I beg to disagree with the doctor who has done an excellent job by saying that we need to look at the welfare of the people because they're poor, their poverty depends. As you keep the truth from them, they will never rise against oppression, they will remain poor, they will die poor. So let us rise as people. Let's be very good. Then we can stand with them and we can walk with them.
Bonjour, merci. just wanted to, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say a few words on behalf of the workers. It was quite a journey getting here, and a lot of challenges when the work started, and you'll notice that some of our workers here this evening, and we had a death in the community, which was a young man, which happens to be our family member, and Edmund was really pissed at him. So the lead worker chose not to be here tonight. So it's kind of hard on us right now, trying to deal with that. And but I just wanted to share that with you guys, and hopefully everybody will feel a lot better tomorrow, the rest of the workers. So I hope you guys understand my leadership.
Sharing that, and please send condolences to Ed, Swing, and all the others. And I just want to ask if any of the speakers have any final comments before we wrap up.
I'd just like to thank all the panelists here and all of you for coming. And I hope that we can do some things together.
He said thank you for all coming, and he says maybe I won't see you here next time, but up there.
So I want to again thank all the speakers. We have one final round of applause.